Hello and welcome back to the Casey Stratton podcast. It is Thursday, June 23rd, 2011. And it is 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is global or Greenwich Mean Time 22:30. Some of my British fans were like, "No, it's 11:30." I'm like, "Yeah, cuz you're in daylight savings too, so you're actually GMT +1 right now." I think those Brits take it for granted that they're always right in the zero. Must be nice. But no, I find it hard because people watch the podcast from all over the world. How do you tell them if they're going to be logging in live with us what time it is? So, but I figure we live in the world where if you can't Google what Eastern Daylight Time is, then it's really not my problem. And you probably don't know how to use Ustream, right? I'm so nice and charitable, aren't I? So what's going on in the world? Let's talk about it. I don't know. President Obama came out on the airwaves last night here in the United States talking about drawing back troops in the war in Afghanistan, but really just drawing back the troops that were the surge troops a year and a half ago, and basically saying it's going to take another 100 million years for those to go. So not really, no one's really too happy about that, really. Kind of the left and the right in agreement for one of like 3 times in the history of time. Not a popular war at this point, especially because, once Osama bin Laden was killed, wasn't that why we did it and went there? And we were fighting terrorists, not countries. And I get that we went in there and made a huge mess, but people have been going in there and making a huge mess and never been able to clean it up for decades. It was the fall of the USSR. After everything that happened with the Cold War and all of us that, grew up in the age of the threat of nuclear war with Russia and all this junk. And then they get taken down because they're bankrupted by going to war in Afghanistan. And then we turn around and do the same thing. It's some sort of knee-jerk September 11 reactionary thing. And I get that you want to retaliate or whatever you want to do, but, once again, let's not forget that Osama bin Laden was found in Pakistan. So to me, if we're in Afghanistan, then why are we not in Yemen? Why are we not in Somalia? Why are we not in Pakistan? And we are in Pakistan. Let's just call a spade a spade. But, whatever. That's not going to happen. I get how the politics of war work. But for the first time ever since the beginning of the Afghan war, it's actually polling in like the majority of U.S. citizens want us to be out of there. For a very long time, people wanted us to be out of Iraq. But the Afghan war was always kind of portrayed to us as the Osama bin Laden September 11th war, so I think people were a little more hesitant to want to pull out of that war. But it is now officially the longest war we have ever been in. I believe that's true across the entire history of the country, at least since World War I, or in this century. I don't know, something. But I do think it's the longest war. So, what do you do? I wasn't thrilled. I was expecting a bit more from that announcement because there's nothing to lose. It's a bipartisan win. I don't know. Let's finish this up. It's not good, and it costs billions and billions of dollars that we could really be using at home as we're slashing education and such. Police, why bother policing our own country when we can go police other people? Because that's what we do best. The big bully of the United States of America. Oh well. Big fight for marriage equality in New York State. Really hoping that for once that can actually get through their state senate and become law. I frankly am very surprised that you can get married in Iowa and Massachusetts, and especially Iowa and not New York. I get, New York is a very strange dichotomy in itself because New York City, of course, has so many people. It's like more than the rest of the state combined, pretty much. I'm sure I'm wrong, but whatever. But then there's also so many urban areas of the state of New York that it is harder than you would think to get progressive, let's just say socially liberal ideas through, and even libertarian ideas, because as you know, the whole point is marriage is a government contract, and does the government decide, who gets to and who doesn't have this particular contract. I don't give a crap about the religious part of this debate, and I am so sick of hearing about it because it has no place. It should not be involved. Hello. Have we not read the Constitution? You don't really need to know much about the Constitution of the United States to know the separation of church and state, which, yes, was originally made to protect religion, but now I feel like sometimes we need to be protected from it. Today I got all riled up on Facebook because I read this person saying, it's not my fault that I'm against gay marriage. It's God said it. God said that. So who am I? Like, okay, according to your God said women shouldn't teach. So that was one of my favorite comments. Someone put like, I raise your whatever and I see your whatever and I raise you. 1 Timothy blah blah blah. And it was like, I will not suffer women to teach. He's like, game over. According to you, it's not me. It's God. I don't think women should teach anything. So sorry, only men. It's not me. It's not me. I just hate when people use the Bible to like act like, hey, if it weren't for what the Bible says, I'd be all for it. No, you wouldn't, because you're really cherry picking. The homosexuality is mentioned in the Bible 7 times. I think goats are mentioned more in the Bible. I would suffer fools gladly. I would suffer women teachers. I would suppose. That's what I meant to say, that is almost true. So, I mean, hey, whatever. But, like I'm saying, at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. The government doesn't care what church you get married in. What about atheists, then? That's always my first argument there. Like, okay, so do you think atheists shouldn't be allowed to get married? But you almost don't want to ask that question, because if these people are already talking like that, then their answer probably will be yes to that. But anyway, I'm hoping that goes through in New York. I think it would be a huge step. And I think what makes it so scary to everybody on either side of the issue, for people who believe that other people shouldn't be able to do things. I would like to just believe that like XYZ can't do something. Actually, I wouldn't like to do that, because I hope I'm not that kind of person. But, you know, if New York passes gay marriage, the experts, those who are saying that it will become inevitable that the entire country will eventually do it, because it's like the linchpin, it's like the fulcrum of the fight for that. If you get that over, the seesaw goes the other way, and it will eventually be law of the land. I would only hope. You know, personally, I would never want to get married, period. I just don't want anyone to be able to tell me that I can't. I just don't like anyone telling people they can't do something, or can't be in a hospital room when someone's dying, or can't, you know, draft the legal paperwork, or deal with custody of children and all this stuff. Anyway, I think the church bells stopped. I was talking on Twitter about how there have been church bells playing, and it probably is someone's funeral or something, so that's sad, but I was really enjoying, because it's really like overcast, kind of dreary day, coldish day here, so I was enjoying the church bells. But yeah, tomorrow I have to do a shorter podcast tonight, because I'm going to be heading off to California on Saturday. But before I do that, I am going tomorrow to Mount Pleasant, Michigan, to see one of my best friends in the world, Carney Wilson from Wilson Phillips, and I also know Wendy pretty well, and I met China one time a long time ago, but so I don't really know her, but Wendy I knew, but it was like my best friend's sister kind of thing. Carney and I were like inseparable, like best of friends since 1995. Pretty much for 3 years, we literally hung out with each other every single day. And if she was traveling or I was traveling, we talked on the phone every day. And then even like we talk on the phone during the day. Like we did that whole thing, like call each other every 2 hours. Did you see that on TV just now? Did you hear about this? Turn on the radio. Turn on this. You know, whatever. So I'm really excited. I haven't seen her in person in 7 years, so I'm really super excited to see her. They're playing about an hour and a half away from me, and if all goes according to plan, I'm going to get up on stage and sing a song with them. And that's the other weird thing, because when I was like 13, I loved, when their first album came out, the eponymous Wilson Phillips album, I loved it. Oh my God, I was into it. I rode my bike all the way to like 2 miles away to get it. Like downhill and uphill and in the snow of the winter. No, it was summertime. But I loved them. And then, you know, only like 5 years later, I met her and we became friends. So it was very strange. Plus, I had friends, and I had these 2 girls that I was really close friends with in high school, and they were also they were good singers. So we would do Wilson Phillips harmonies to like everything. Like we would cover like Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics and blah, blah, Wilson Phillips style. So then it became really funny that Carney and I became such close friends, because I had always had this like I had my own version of Wilson Phillips. So it's as much as it's exciting to sing with my friend, it would also be like a really full circle, like 21 years later, singing with Wilson Phillips, you know, like who would have thought? So I'm really excited about that, but mostly just excited to see Karn. So I'm excited about that. And then Saturday morning, bright and early, I have to get on a plane and go to California to perform at this dance. It's called the Mather Dance Company. It's a fairly new dance company, but it's a choreographer, Shannon Mather, who's been choreographing to my work for quite some time. And You Move Away is still my number one download on iTunes because of how many times it's been choreographed. And With or Without, my YouTube cover of With or Without You also. So I'm playing both of those songs and people will be dancing. And I don't know much about it except I'm going to show up and sing 2 songs and hey, why not? So I'm going to California for literally like 5 seconds. I know better with summer traveling because I've gotten stranded so many times because of thunderstorms to leave Saturday for a Sunday performance. So hopefully I'll get there on Saturday, but you know, if you travel by air in the United States or anywhere, frankly, that might not happen. So I have a big window to get there, and then I will perform the show, and then the next Monday afternoon I will come back home because Henry is still, as we know, 9 weeks in now. Wow, I'm amazed. So he needs his fluid treatments, and I'm afraid to be gone from him for too long. So my friend Mario, that a lot of you know from online, Bimba Colora on Twitter, he is going to be coming over and giving Henry his fluid treatments and stuff. So I'm hoping that goes well. I'm kind of racked with guilt to leave him at all because I haven't left him even overnight. Okay, Win. Okay. I haven't left him even overnight since this all started, so we'll see what happens. Oh, you're sweet right now. Okay. Wow. I'll take it. So anyway, that's the plan. I'll be back Monday night late, and hopefully Hen will make it through that, and I don't know, I have a good feeling. So busy starting tomorrow morning. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to take a quick question today, but my friend Anthony, who actually just wrote, I'm doing like an interview with him, so I have a big long I have a big long email of questions to answer, but one of the ones I thought I'll answer him privately, but I'll also talk about, he asked me about the podcast, about this podcast that I do, and he asked if I felt that it was something that was fun or if I thought of it like it was work. And you know, that's a good question. I do think it's very fun. I understand that I do it because it's fun. I also understand that it's work, and we live in an interesting time because, you know, it doesn't take a genius now to kind of know how marketing works and stuff, but this is the thing that's so different about these times, and it's interesting to me since I have been working for 16 years. So in the beginning of my career, I didn't really have much. Unless you came to my show, I probably didn't meet you or talk to you. Nowadays, and this is, I'm going to be, my caveat, my disclaimer is that this might come out sounding wrong, but I hope you get what I'm going to be saying. As a musician, of course, there are some, I'm sure you probably have seen some or know some, that you think are going to be cool, and then you realize that all they're really doing is like marketing to you. I don't want to be that guy, you know, like it's really important to me not to be that guy, like shoving it down your throat, like whatever, like buy my stuff. You know, when the time comes that I got to pay the bills and I say, hey, buy my stuff, you know what I'm doing. You know, we're social networking. I have something new. Buy it or don't buy it. I'm still going to talk to you or whatever. I do not like go, well, this person bought 19 copies of, no. But of course, engaging with people online is part of my job. But if I didn't find people so charming and lovely, then I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? The way that I do it. I would be more stoic or formal. But like, especially with Twitter, I think that's a mistake. In fact, there are plenty of people even musical artists that I really like, but then I find out they're on Twitter and I go look at their Twitter and it's just buy so-and-so's, like third person, buy so-and-so's new record, link, watch this video, link. I'm like, that's not Twitter. Like, I don't care then I'm not going to follow you because I already know, I like you enough to know what you're doing. I don't need to be marketed to all the time. So I prefer when people are themselves, including musicians or actors, public people, performers. But yeah, I mean, you in the music marketing side of things, you have it like hammered into your brain, like social networking, do your marketing. But I try to balance that between being a human being and also having the kind of job where you have to network. And that's what I'm saying, it's networking like any networking. If you work for some corporate company, you have to do that too. And just because you go to some convention and you hang out with people and talk and have your glass of wine, yeah, I mean, you're hoping to get ahead or to make deals or get, you know, cashola, whatever, but you also enjoy the people. I mean, that's why you're doing it. So I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's a similar thing. Twitter's like the biggest convention that ever happened in the world. And I've gotten to know some like really cool and amazing people, and it does enrich your life. I mean, I like that I have my real life group of close friends and family and such, of course, and then I have my online friends and and family, and I really enjoy it. And the podcast is part of that, is what I'm saying. Like, I do it to keep people engaged, you know, to stay on people's radar so people don't forget about me or whatever. But I also do it because, I mean, I hope that there is an interest in it. I mean, I wouldn't sit here and talk for a half hour for the fun of it, like thinking I'm just so amazing or intriguing or whatever, fantastic. And so I do it because people seem to enjoy it, and I see enough viewership, you know, building as I look at the YouTube numbers or whatever, that I know that it's not a complete waste of time to do it. If I was like talking to an empty room, I would stop. So I really enjoy doing it, but yeah, of course there's a reason. But it's also, I think it's good to just give another way into the perspective of what it's like to be a musician, what it's like to be creative, what it's like to be an independent musician in the modern world. I have a lot of strong opinions. I know you're so surprised, all of you. I know everyone's really surprised about it. So I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why I do it, but I think it's important for artists to be honest about what's going on, you know, and not be that guy. I don't know. Everybody knows what's up. So, we'll see. Anyway, I also have to say I don't think Wendy has ever sat in my lap this long in her entire existence. So I must have been lulling her to sleep with my boring ass diatribe. That's what. See, Tina, you knew. I don't know what's up with Wendy. She's happy. She's purring away. So I better sing for you. Ugh, I have to decide between two things. I was going to do one thing, and then I changed my mind. Okay, wow. Don't bite me. Yeah, you're done. Bye. And now I'm covered with cat hair. Exactly. She left on her own, as we saw. I don't know which song to do. I don't know. Yeah, let's just do it. Why not? I've never done this live, so... How many times have I tried to turn this love around? I don't wanna give up, but baby, it's time. To feet on the ground. Can you release me? Can you release me? Now that you're gone, I can't time for me. I'm trying to make you see that, baby, you've just got to release me. What is this power you got on me? What is this power? Come on, baby, come on, baby. You knew it was time to just let go, 'cause we wanna be free, but somehow it's just not that easy. Come on, darling, hear me, darling, 'cause you're a waste of time for me. I'm trying to make you see that, baby, you've just got to release me. Release me. Can you release me? Can you release me? Can you release? Oh, can you release me? Can you release me? Can you release me? Yay. So that was Release Me by Wilson Phillips, by my good friend, by Karn. So, Carney Wilson. Sorry, I'm like shorthanding. And now I can breathe a little. God, it's funny that I've known that song for 21 years and I've never played it live until just this minute. And I only rehearsed it at 6:25. So, you know, props to me. No, I'm just kidding. But I have a little sip of my coffee now. So that's going to conclude this portion of the recorded version, because Mario's coming over to practice giving Henry his fluids in a little bit, so I got to sign off early this time. 5 minutes. So, hey, you know, I try. That's my version of a very short podcast. I'm only going to talk for 25 minutes. All right, so I will see you next time, and I'll talk to you guys in the chat window in a minute. That's the thing. For those of you who show up for the live thing, we talk for a little bit after. It's a little more informal. Twitter.com/Casey Stratton. Facebook.com/Casey Stratton Music. www.CaseyStratton.com. Store.CaseyStratton.com if you want to buy some stuff from my Bandcamp store. It's like supporting local. It's like buying local, supporting indie. It's no middleman kind of thing. And podcasts with an S at CaseyStratton.com if you're interested in sending me a question via email. If you're, you know, living in 2005, behind the times. Just kidding. So I'm Casey Stratton. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.